actually was the time I first came to New York from Toronto. And Bill and James put like the fear of God into me that I wasn't allowed to speak to Amit about anything. So I remember it was like about 2 days, and I was at Green Cafe, and Amit was right behind me in line. And I was getting my oatmeal in the morning. And as soon as the lady gave me back my money, I started beelining to the door. And Amit's like, Ellen, where are you going? And I kind of turned around and I said, I'm going to the office. He's like, well, wait for me. We'll walk together. And so I'm like waiting for him, and we walked together to the office. And I don't think I said one word to Amit. Oh my God, well, those were the beginning days.
Alright, so one great story was, I think it was E-Tail 6-7 years ago. It was at the Palm Desert, the smaller hotel we used to do E-Tail in. And we were at the bar in the hotel, and it was Michelle and I and Amit, and Seth Adler, I think, was there too. We were all drinking, and this is back in the day when Amit, he was one of the guys drinking like everyone else. And we all got really drunk, and all of a sudden, Amit turned into like a hooligan from the soccer matches. He started cursing and slurring his words, and he was picking fights with our sponsors. Michelle and I were freaking out, and he was like calling out one of the sponsors and wanted to fight him. We were just freaking out. We were like, we've got to get him out of here. And we sent him to his room.
One time in 2003, Amit and I were in Detroit, coming back from an event, and we were going through security, and we had shared one of those bins with all this stuff. We put the computers and everything in there, and as soon as we got through, the security lady says, I need both you gentlemen to step aside. She asks us for our ID. I provide her a driver's license. Amit gives her his British passport, and she says, okay, right, so whose laptop is this? And Amit says, it's mine. And she says, whose cell phone is this? And Amit says, it's mine. And he had actually back then we had to carry everything to the events ourselves, so we had a bunch of electronics basically in this bin, and they were all Amit's. And so the lady says, okay. And she hands Amit back his passport and says, sir, you're free to go and take all of your devices with you. And she points to me and says, I'm going to need you to step aside behind the curtain, where they proceeded to search me thoroughly. And it was one of my first experiences at WBR, and I think just a great testament to Amit's leadership. I have no idea how a bald brown guy with a foreign passport made it through security in Detroit, and somehow this guy right here got stuck getting strip searched, basically. So, thank you, Amit. I'll never forget it, and I'm going to miss you.
So what was Amit like as a leader? Well, one thing I'll always remember is he's really does have your back. He has an open door policy, and
doesn't have a door.
Doesn't even have a door. In fact, everything's wide open. Open pod policy where you could just walk up to him, and he always has an extra few minutes for his employees' concerns, and doesn't, keeps an ear out for him. So, Amit, thank you. Always looked up to you that. Having that quality as a leader. I'm sure you'll bring that over to London. If not, that's better for us. And the other thing that I really admire about you is when you sat me down and told me how much you were looking forward to me having the MD position, and that one day you think I'll be a great leader, MD, here in the New York office.
I think Chris is gonna be the MD.
He made Chris the MD?
Yeah, there was an email.
Well, Amit, thank you for that. Maybe if your open pod policy is still available, we'll talking a few minutes, but I'm pretty sure he said that I was probably going to be the
Chris
MD.
is definitely the MD.
Chris, Jonathan, MDs, co-MD.
So another great story is now we're at the beautiful JW Marriott in Palm Springs, and now we're partying in one of the huge suites that we used to get. And after dinner, we'd all go back, and we'd have wine, dessert, and I can't remember exactly how it was happening, but Amit was opening up a bottle of cake bread, of course, and I know there was an argument going on because whenever we get drunk, we're always just fighting. With Amit about everything, the money, the show, what we're going to do. And all of a sudden, he opens up the bottle, and it slips out of his hand, and he shatters the big glass table. And we're all screaming, and all he said was, "I wish this was you, Chet. I wish you broke the table, not me."
I think what I remember most about Amit is, and some of the fondest memories are, things were a lot different in February 2005 when he hired me with Alex Cameron, who was heading up production at the time. We were down on the 8th floor with those mouth-breathing savages at IQPC, and just the environment was a lot different. Amit was. He never really let you know exactly how he felt about you, which was a great management technique because you never really knew where you stood, if you were ahead of the game or, praise was something that he handed out sparingly. And I think for the way that the company was back then, that was a great technique. Nowadays, things are a bit different. He's always adjusted his management style accordingly. And, with him leaving us, really going to miss him. We're losing a hell of a person, a hell of a friend, a mediocre soccer player, and really somebody that was an unflappable leader that can't be replaced. Just no matter what went wrong in the office, no matter how bad the market conditions were, you knew with Amit at the helm that things were going to work out in the end. So it's very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult with him going on to London, but we wish him the best.